Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we will be speaking about the Bloodline and what will be happening to them moving forward. After the most recent edition of SmackDown, we've seen a lot of crazy things transpire, and we're just going to dive in and we're going to speak about my prediction of what's going to be happening to them as of now. If you have your own opinions on what's going to happen with the Bloodline, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any of the videos that I will be putting out surrounding this subject. And make sure to comment down below what you think will happen with the Bloodline, what you think is going to happen with Paul Heyman, with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, and anything else that has to do with the Bloodline. So make sure you like this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. So as we saw in the June 28th edition of SmackDown, and as we have been seeing for the past few weeks on SmackDown, Paul Heyman is in a dangerous spot aligning himself with the Bloodline, even though it looks like he has no choice. And as we saw, since the formation of the Bloodline, since Roman Reigns returned in 2020, Paul Heyman, as the special counsel to the tribal chief and as Roman Reigns' wise man, he has been the most protected member of the Bloodline. Roman Reigns has made sure that nothing has ever happened to him. There has been times that Jimmy has tried to go against him. There has been times that Jay has tried to go against him, and Roman was not having it. That was his wise man, that was his special counsel, and he made sure that no one was going to lay a hand on him. And in the recent weeks, we've seen that Solo has kept Paul Heyman around, but I don't necessarily think he's keeping him around to be his wise man or to be his special counsel. I think he's just keeping him around just to make himself seem more powerful, or to try and put himself on the level that Roman Reigns was and still is. We've seen Solo and the other members of the Bloodline constantly intimidating him. On the most recent episode of SmackDown, Solo lied to Paul Heyman, saying that Jacob Fatu was not in the building, saying that he took his advice and took his counsel, which was just, Solo trying to make sure that Paul Heyman was calm and make sure that Paul Heyman will come out to the ring, because he had his own little plan. And it even took Paul Heyman pleading with CM Punk to save him and take him away from the Bloodline, which we saw that Solo actually got very upset with Paul Heyman and said that they were going to have a talk later on in the night. The acknowledgement ceremony that took place on SmackDown was simply just a demonstration of Solo's power, but it was also a chance for Solo to humiliate Paul Heyman in front of not only the fans and not only the WWE Universe and everybody watching at home, but it was a chance for him to humiliate Paul Heyman in front of Roman Reigns. I'm pretty sure Solo knows that Roman Reigns is watching what's going on, and everyone knows that Paul Heyman is 100% loyal to Roman. So the best way that Solo can stick it to Roman and show Roman that he is the new tribal chief is taking away his wise man. It's pretty obvious that Solo is done with Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline. If you really think about it, if Roman was still here, Roman never would have taken out Jimmy Uso and kicked him out of the Bloodline, for the simple fact that if he wants to get back to the top, if he wants to get his title back, he needs all the numbers that he can get. So he wouldn't take out Jimmy Uso. He would not kick him out the Bloodline, but Solo did. Solo is not thinking like a Roman Reigns. Solo is not thinking like, let me have my brothers, let me have Jimmy and Jay, let me have Paul. No, he wants his own crew. He wants people that he knows will follow him, will obey him no matter what. He wants people that don't have any allegiance to Roman Reigns at all. He wants to wipe the slate clean. Now we're seeing that Solo Sikoa is taking pages out of Roman's book and trying to be the tribal chief of his Bloodline. We saw that when he started his promo, he asked MSG, Madison Square Garden, to acknowledge him. Obviously, Roman is infamous that as he is starting his promo, he makes sure that the city that he is in acknowledges him. Not only that, but then he makes each member of the Bloodline step up and acknowledge him as well, and even going as far to trying to make Paul Heyman acknowledge him and be his wise man. Solo even took it a step further and brought out the Ula Fala and gave it to Paul Heyman, telling him to place it on his shoulders, signifying that he is the tribal chief and the head of the table. We saw this when Roman Reigns' father, rest in peace to Sika, we saw this when he beat Jey Uso. Sika went and placed the Ula Fala on the shoulders of Roman Reigns, signifying and solidifying that he is the tribal chief, the head of the table, the leader of the family. We see that Solo is done taking orders from Roman, even saying last week that Roman is not coming back, that he is now the leader of the bloodline and he is the one that is calling the shots. We saw the amazing moment that when Paul Heyman finally decided to stick up for himself and declare that he will not acknowledge Solo Sikoa as a tribal chief. He knew that it was over for him at that moment. He knew that it was either align himself with Solo, betraying Roman and living in fear, or declaring his allegiance for Roman and being taken out by the bloodline and by Solo Sikoa. We saw that he was hit with a Samoan spike from Solo, a splash from Jacob, and then also put through the announce table from a triple powerbomb. We know that next week at Money in the Bank, they will be involved in a 6-man tag against Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. But there's 4 members of the Bloodline who are eligible to be in that match. So we will see on Friday, or maybe even Saturday that night, who will be the ones involved in the match. My prediction is we will see that Cody, KO, and Randy Orton get absolutely demolished and laid out by the Bloodline on Friday Night SmackDown, the Friday before Money in the Bank. We saw that when they opened the show last night on the June 28th edition of SmackDown, they had a brawl, but then they left the building. They obviously are looking for a fight. They want their revenge. They want their get back, and they're going to stop at nothing to make sure they get their hands on the Bloodline. The problem is that they will be outgunned 3-4, the Bloodline having the advantage with Jacob Fatu. So now who will step up to help Cody, KO, and Randy to even the odds and get revenge on the Bloodline? In my honest opinion, I don't think we will see, obviously, I don't think we will see a return on Friday Night SmackDown. I think we will see a return the next night at Money in the Bank. And I think the person that will be returning is Jimmy Uso. I think he will be returning at Money in the Bank by orders of Roman Reigns, even in the odds, and helping KO, Cody, and Randy get the win against the Bloodline. Rumors are circulating that this will eventually lead to a championship match against Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. So now, this begs the question, is this where we will see Roman Reigns return and confront Solo for everything that he has done? If we do get the championship match at SummerSlam, it's obvious that the Bloodline will be interfering at some point. But I don't think that all members of the Bloodline will be interfering at the same time. What might happen is Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa will come down to ringside, distracting Cody Rhodes and trying to give Solo the upper hand. At that moment, KO and Randy Orton will come down to the ring and discard of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. But Solo, knowing that this is going to happen, it leaves the chance for Jacob Fatu to come down and try and distract Cody, or even, interfere physically. It may look like that Cody Rhodes is going to lose his championship to Solo Sikoa. But then out of nowhere, Roman Reigns' music hits. The crowd goes wild. Solo looking at the entrance, fearfully looking at the entrance, seeing his tribal chief coming out with the wise man Paul Heyman and with his brother Jimmy Uso. And they will come down to the ring and they will confront Solo and they will take Solo out, hoping Cody Rhodes to retain his title. Obviously, when Roman comes back, his number one objective is going back to the top of the mountain, being the number one guy and being the face of the company. But he has a bigger problem in dealing with Solo Sikoa and his bloodline. Their defiance and their rebellion is too much of a problem for him to juggle being champion and also dealing with them at the same time. Obviously, when Roman Reigns comes back, he's going to want to be the top guy again. That means taking the championship back from Cody Rhodes or whoever is holding the title. But when he returns, he will have a bigger problem in store, and that will be taking care of Solo and the Bloodline. Yes, he will want the championship, and yes, he will want to be on top of the mountain, but he won't be able to do any of that if Solo and the Bloodline are still wreaking havoc on the WWE and on SmackDown. Obviously, Roman Reigns confronting Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline will eventually lead to a feud. But then where will that feud lead? Will it lead to something in SummerSlam? Or will it lead to something at WrestleMania down the line? we will find out in the part 2 of this video, where I will continue to speak as things continue to unravel, and we will see what happens during Money in the Bank and the weeks to come. Let me tell you, I was at the most recent edition of SmackDown, and the feeling of seeing Paul Heyman go through that table and being attacked by the Bloodline, like, surprised me. I really honestly thought that someone was coming out. We even had the crowd chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, but no one came out. No one came out to help Paul Heyman, and the feeling in the arena was pure shock and pure devastation. We didn't think that that was really going to happen to Paul Heyman, but it did. But it's all going to lead to something amazing and something even bigger happening at Money in the Bank. This whole Bloodline feud and Bloodline story is obviously going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Roman Reigns has said that his time is short in WWE, and we still haven't gotten Rock versus Roman, but there are certain things that still need to happen in order for this story to culminate and for those certain matches to take place. Also, where does Jey Uso fit in all of this? Does he align with his brother Jimmy and Roman forming the OG Bloodline again, or will he just want to stay out of it and want to stay doing his own thing as a singles competitor on Raw? I'm gonna be completely honest. After Roman Reigns left and took his break, and The Rock left, and Jay went to Raw, and Jimmy got taken out by the Bloodline, I wasn't really looking forward to what was gonna be happening. But as we got in new debuts to the new members of the Bloodline, and as we have been seeing certain things happen and certain things unfold, man, has this story made me excited. I've been more invested in this story now than I was before, when Solo first took over the Bloodline as the tribal chief. This makes me wonder what will be happening in the future, what will be happening at Survivor Series, at Money in the Bank, at SummerSlam, and even at WrestleMania. This sets up so many amazing matches and storylines to just clash together. New people may be coming to the Bloodline. Will they be joining Solo's Bloodline, or will they be joining Roman's Bloodline? We don't know, but that's the most fun part about it. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who is going to show up. We don't know when they're going to show up, and we don't know what will happen when they do show up, which is just the most amazing part of this story. Again, if you guys like this video, if you guys have your own opinions, please make sure to leave comments in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. This was the only thing I was thinking about as I was leaving SmackDown and as I was home yesterday and all day today. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.